What's going on, bulls? Today, we're going to talk more about the Mexican billionaire, Salinas, who wants to be using more and more Bitcoin with his Mexican banks. And we're going to talk more about Binance being shut down in the UK, what this means for Bitcoin, what this means for cryptocurrency, all that stuff. But first of all, I just want to remind you, I am definitely a Bitcoin and crypto bull. I like this little gif here. Because Bitcoin is the future of finance. Bitcoin is the future of money. And we really got to talk about what is money. Money is not ink on a piece of paper that a government prints. Money's not issued by the government. Money is decided on by the market. That's why many thousands of years ago we decided on gold and silver, because they fit the properties of what we think of as money, which would be, I like Robert Breedlove's definition, where it's divisibility, distinguishability, portability, scarcity, and these elements they've never been more apparent in Bitcoin than anything else ever, even more so than gold. You know, you hear a lot about the stock to flow ratio, which is the current stock of a money and the flow of new money into the stock. So gold currently sits at about a 62. 62 is the number. What that means is that it would take 62 years for the flow of the new gold coming in to double the current stock. And Bitcoin's currently at 55. And at its next halving, which is when literally the amount of Bitcoin that can be mined is cut in half. This happens once every about 4 years. It'll happen again in 2024. The stock to flow ratio will go to 110, roughly, which will make it by far the biggest stock to flow ratio we've ever had in the history of mankind for money. So these things are what make up money, and Bitcoin is just the most ideal instrument for it. Plus, we've just been going into a digital world for 25, 30 years. And it just keeps getting more and more digital exponentially every single year. It just makes sense. Our current financial structure it doesn't make any sense. To send money, if I'm up here in America and I want to send money to someone in El Salvador, if I want to send them $100, after all the intermediary fees and everything like that, it'll take days for it to get there. It'll go through multiple intermediaries. It'll end up costing me roughly $20 out of that 100. So I'm sending $100, but the person I'm sending it to is only going to get maybe 80. And billions of people in the world don't have banks, by the way. So say in El Salvador, they'd have to go to a Western Union, which they'd have to take a bus, go God knows how far, sometimes hours, to go to a Western Union and get the $80, which should have been $100, and they go through this whole thing, make at least a whole day of it. And then when they walk out of the Western Union, there's little thugs sitting out there waiting to rob them, because they know everyone walking out's just got cash. And say in El Salvador, for example, when they get the money, they're getting US dollars, which is inflating and going down in value every single day. Whereas Bitcoin, on the other hand, is the type of thing that can actually grow in value every single day because it has true scarcity, and they can't just print more of it, because the more supply, the lower the value. And if you keep printing money, the supply goes up and the value goes down. Bitcoin is capped at 21 million. That's all it's ever going to be mined. And right now, 18 million some have been mined, but it's not going to be done being mined until 2140 because of the halving cycles. Anyways, I just want to get into that real quick. Let's talk about Salinas here. So, he's the Mexican bank billionaire who he wants to give his clients access to Bitcoin. He wants to, and this seems to have pushed up the crypto price. I agree with that. I think there's been some good news. Because the next piece wouldn't be good news, although it doesn't bother me too much, but we'll get into that in a second. So, he wants to make his bank, Banco Azteca, the first lender in the country to do business in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is good portfolio diversifier for investors. and that he's working to be the first bank in Mexico to accept Bitcoin. This came on the heels of Michael Saylor's tweet here. Now, Bitcoin's up today. It's trading up about 5.5%. Maybe we can pull up that real quick. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's check out its chart. By the way, please give the video a subscribe to it, hit that like button. Really supports the channel. I just super appreciate it. Thank you. Wait for that to load. Well, we'll come back to that as we wait for it to load. But yeah, Bitcoin's up. That's about the price that I saw it at last, 34,000. So that's really nice to see that today. He also claims fiat is fraud, and he says why he wants to hold Bitcoin over the next 30 years and how he witnessed hyperinflation in the 1980s, and that informed his thesis. He mentioned what we were reading yesterday. The peso, it was like 20 to 1, like 20 pesos to $1, and now it's like 20,000 pesos to $1. That's insane. Mexico's central bank is currently fighting inflation aggressively. They just raised interest rates from 4.25 to 4.25, excuse me, as inflation is climbing above 6%. So this means the financial institutions, if they lend money, they're getting back 4.25%, and that doesn't even meet or beat inflation. So no matter what, everyone's losing money that has peso. And everyone's losing money that has dollar too. Everyone's losing money that has any type of fiat currency, which is government issued currency, which is not money. It is used for trade, but it is not the actual does not fit in the definition of money. By the way, he also has ownership in a number of other retail and broadcasting businesses. I'm really bullish on that too, because it's that much more reach. Because crypto, Bitcoin, it's all about getting further and further out into the world, more and more adoption, moving further and further and further out. Because that's what it's all about. For the adoption, I believe would be the term. Let's see if this, ooh, buddy. Yeah, Bitcoin chart, let's come on, let's refresh it. Let's see what's going on. Hey now. There we go. One day. So it was this nice little shelf that we saw because it was down here, a little under 32,000. Excuse me. It was at 32,000. Did it go down below that? No, 32.5 was the lowest on yesterday afternoon, and then it had this spike here from yesterday afternoon to within an hour. It went up. I mean, within an hour, it went up like $3,000, about 10%. And it's just been riding on this nice, I really like the look. I mean, it's only a day, but I really like the look of this. I really do. It's kind of trending down maybe a little, but it looks stable to me. Plus, when I look at Ethereum, let me show you this real quick. Let me get Ethereum open. You'll see Ethereum's even a little better. Let's go with the 1 day. See, Ethereum's just straight trending up. So Ethereum was down here at about that same time. It was down at 18.15. I put in a buy order around that time, by the way, for like around that price. So I'm not getting that right now, which is fine. And then it just started climbing. It's been climbing. It keeps going up. Where Bitcoin went up with this shelf here, but then it kind of went here, and then it's actually kind of gone down just a little bit from there, where Ethereum's going up. So very interesting. On to the next piece of news. Talked about this yesterday, but it seems to be all the rage today some more, so let's talk about it a little more. The UK Binance watchdog clamps down on cryptocurrency. Watchdogs clamp down on cryptocurrency exchanges. Talking about the UK, the FCA has ruled the firm Binance cannot conduct any regulated activity in the UK. They advise people to be wary of advertisements promising high returns on crypto asset investments. And they also put a notice out that no direct impact on the services, but there's no direct impact on the services it provides from its website, Binance. That's what Binance put out. And Binance is not a UK base, so the FCA ruling, there won't be any impact to UK residents who use the website to purchase and sell crypto. I think it's just the FCA trying to flex some muscle. I think they don't really understand what's going on, and they're trying to get a hold on it because they're regulators. So they're like, regulators, mount up. That's just what they do. That's their mode of operation. Binance Group is currently based in the Cayman Islands, while Binance Markets Limited is an affiliate firm based in London. Based in London, but it's an affiliate firm, Binance Markets Limited. Binance Group is in the Cayman Islands. What we're saying here is it won't stop the company's many UK customers from using its exchange based in the Cayman Islands to buy and sell Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So the FCA is just sending a strong signal that it's worried about the dangers of investing in cryptocurrencies in general. So, yeah, they're just trying to... They don't understand what's going on, and they feel like they're supposed to do something, so they're doing something. Binance Holdings has been the subject of a probe in the U.S. and the SEC, specifically by its officials dealing with money laundering and tax offenses, according to Bloomberg. On Saturday, Binance announced it would be pulling out of Ontario, Canada, after the Ontario OSC, accused it and several other crypto trading platforms of failing to comply with province regulations. Japan's financial services agency warned Binance for the second time in 3 years that it is operating the country without permission. So all of this is, to me, this is inevitable. This was always inevitable, and it's going to actually become more so, where these security exchange commissions, these financial regulators in countries are going to be looking at everything, and exchanges make sense to where to look at first, because that's where people are buying, selling, trading, and actually moving this stuff. So those are the marketplaces. It makes sense for them to look at them, but they don't really understand what's going on, and they're trying to be aware because their job is to protect their country and their people, but really their currency. This is Mark Walker. He's a technology entrepreneur who does some stuff. He's used Binance for 6 months, I guess. I've used Binance since like 2017, I think. He says the FCA are taking a blunt approach. This is space which is growing and employs millions, so it's like them banning the internet in the 90s. I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but what he's saying, it's in the ballpark. Like it is. Like them banning it, really they're just saying, hey, let us control you. That's the way I take it, which is exactly the response I would think they would have. And Mr. Sapinaro, who co-founded the cryptocurrency Divi and the blockchain payments ecosystem Divi project, he says the real problem with crypto exchanges is that they are still centralized. So this doesn't really have anything to do, it kind of does, but not really, with the SECs and the FSAs and all that stuff. He says the real problem is that they're centralized, meaning that they're more like a central authority and they take custody of the user's money, like a bank. He said they should be totally decentralized, and I agree with that. I'm not sure what that exactly looks like. But he also says, he stresses digital currency is not a scam, and eventually the fintech industry will get there. I agree. All this stuff, it will get there. It just is where it is. It's all so new and so young that everyone's figuring it out. And that's just what's going to happen. So don't get caught up in the FUD. Ride that bull. Because Bitcoin is the future of finance and crypto is the future of technology. Our entire world is going to be run on blockchains because it just makes sense. It brings honesty, it brings transparency, it brings back truth and trust to society, to humanity, because we cannot be trusted. Humans, it's in our nature. We cannot be trusted because it's just when cheating can be done, a solid percentage of people will cheat. Significant percentage. When people can steal, a significant percentage of people will steal. When people can manipulate, a significant percentage of people can manipulate, because it's in our nature to do what we see as being in our own personal best interest. I'm not saying we'll all make the same decision in a scenario, but plenty of people will see the manipulating, the cheating, the stealing, the this, the that as being in their best interest. And that's just humanity. That's the reality of it. I don't even want to argue it because it's true. But this blockchain brings back truth. It brings back transparency. It brings back trust because no human can change it because it is what it is. It is a robot. It has a program and it runs that effing program. But it's different than, not different than the internet. It's just like the internet because the internet can't really be The internet is what it is. It just runs, and you can do things on the internet, but you can't do things to the internet. That's the way blockchain is. You can do things on the blockchain, but you can't do things to it because it is what it is. And it runs how it runs. So, trust is such a big deal. It is such a big deal. Imagine living in a world where there's a lot more trust in what's happening, what's going on. Because if blockchain's running, the option of manipulating, the option of cheating, the option of stealing, the option of this and that, it's not there because the blockchain just won't allow it. So eventually humanity evolves into just being a more trustworthy species because we become more accustomed to that being the way of life. We've become accustomed, I think the humanity's always had it, to lying, cheating, stealing. That's because it's just the way it is. Not just the way it is. It's a terrible explanation. But it's just because, if you have the decision, all of a sudden you're in the, should I do this or should I do that? And, I'm no saint. I'm the best version of me I've ever been today. But, I've lied. I've cheated. I've stolen. And so have you. Don't lie about it. If you say you're not, then you're lying right now. And there's much, much larger degrees of it. And it just happens all over the place. Wall Street, the Fed, everybody, the banks, they're just a bunch of liars. They manipulate and run and cheat and steal from all of us. And we just accept it because we don't know any different. And we're just used to it. We don't even know that's what's going on. This is going to change the world. It really is. It really, really is. That's something, it's going to change the world. Oh, make the world a better place. But this really is, where 99.999% of things are just bullshit. This really is going to do that. And it has so much benefit that it cannot be stopped. Bitcoin, for example, will be the new money. I don't think people will be actually buying and selling things in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will be the digital gold. It will be the store of value. It will be the thing, an asset. And I believe we will be trading in, I don't know for sure. Stable coins for a while because that'll work on the blockchain where obviously US dollars won't. But it'll be the crutch for a while. I don't know what the ecosystem evolves into, but I don't think that we end up using Bitcoin as the actual trading thing. I think that that's an asset that we hold and we can get, like if we need money, we can get loans on it. Because that's the real way to be able to use money, is to use it to make more money. Right? To increase your buying power. That's the game. That's the game of money. Almost none of us are taught that because they don't teach that anywhere. Now, they don't teach that in school. They don't teach that in any school, college, professional school, nothing. No one gets taught that. It's criminal that we are not taught more about money at a young age or any age. We have to learn about it when we're adults and we've already made tons of money mistakes. And then we start teaching ourselves. That's the only way it happens, really, because no one teaches this stuff. Unless you find a private individual that's teaching it or something like that, and you pay them money and take their courses or something. It's a whole, but it's such an education that it's something that should be started when we're young. Not how to balance. I remember I was taught how to balance a checkbook. That is literally the extent of the financial education I got. How to balance a checkbook. Are you kidding me? What a joke. Blockchain, Bitcoin moves us into making the playing field of the money game more fair, at least for a while, because it gets rid of a lot of the, I don't want to say manipulation, because manipulation's there currently in its current set. It's there because but once the value of Bitcoin and crypto gets to a certain height, it's going to be harder to manipulate the spot prices, which is, the price at any given moment. But it really levels the playing field, I feel. It really evens things out. It gives us more, it both gives us and forces us more responsibility with our money, with our lives, with our personal everything. Which is, in my opinion, the way we should definitely be. We should be taking responsibility for our own lives, Why should other people and entities be responsible for our own lives? They couldn't possibly take as good care of us or care enough about our well-being as we can. Know what I mean? But I buy Bitcoin almost every day. There's several cryptocurrencies I buy. I basically only buy Bitcoin, Ethereum are my main ones, like by far. I'm buying more Cardano. I'm really liking VeChain. I'm really liking Chainlink too, because of what they do and what the service, the role they can fulfill within the ecosystem going forward. It looks really good. Anyways, that's what I got for you today, Bulls. Hit that sub button, hit that like button, check out the links in the description. There's some good stuff down there. I mean, there's a link for Voyager in there. Go use Voyager. You get $25 free Bitcoin. Okay, cool. But you'll get interest on your crypto. Like all my crypto, I keep it on Voyager. Like my Bitcoin, I'm getting 6.25% interest. My Ethereum, I'm getting 5.25%. My USDC, I'm getting 9%. So instead of my dollars sitting in the bank, I just turn them into stable coins, and I'm getting 9% instead of nothing at the bank. I'm actually making money. I'm beating inflation at 9%. And Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're just going to go up and up in price for years overall. And so the interest I'm getting is just free Bitcoin and free Ethereum that is going to go up way, way, way more. Like if I earn 6.25% Bitcoin this year of my Bitcoin, well, that Bitcoin in 10 years will probably be worth 10, 100 times what it was worth in dollars anyways today. So I'm really getting a hell of a lot more interest than that. But anyways, check it out. Link in description. Hit that sub button, hit that like button. Bulls, thanks for watching this video. Stay classy. You're awesome. I'll see you tomorrow.